Buddy, it is Mark with Movified. We are so excited to be here at the Moving Titan Retreat. I was even luckier right now to grab Tommy Mello from A1 Garage Doors, who was walking by, said, come on, you got to sit down. And he was so excited to come down and hang out with me.
That's great.
I had to pull him from the strings, but it worked. So thank you so much, Tommy, for coming on the podcast. I'm going to hit you with one of the questions that I've been throwing to everybody. Looking back, what are the 5 main tips or like business areas that you could tell someone that wants to get in the industry? Just any trade, like, it doesn't have to be into like garage doors or HVAC or even the moving industry, but like from the start, what are 5 fundamental things that you look back now going like, man, this is something that I really wish I focused on?
Yeah. Well, number one is I think a lot of people go into an industry with no money. They're good at a job and they think, I know how to do this, so I'm just going to go start a business. They end up being a technician owner that are going to do all the work. That's a big mistake. You should go into this with money saved. In fact, I worked 3 jobs when I started A1. I was still painting garage doors, I was bartending, and I was flipping cars on top of, and I had my landscaping company. So like I was getting all these other incomes to be able to grow A1, and I was putting it into the prize. Number 2, I remember this day vividly. I met this awesome CPA. He only worked with 10 business owners, like amazing, very, very wealthy, affluent clients. And he goes, dude, for some reason, I really like you. I'm not even going to charge you to work with you, but you got to read everything I give you. And he handed me The E-Myth by Michael Gerber, and I read that in 2 days. And then he handed me The Richest Man in Babylon, and then The Red Bible by Chad Holmes, what is it called? The Ultimate Sales Machine. And then he got me reading. So I was getting educated. Here's something else. A lot of people want to pass the baton. They want to help small companies out. You go find the biggest, best companies in your industry. Go visit them on the other side of the United States. Make the trip, ask a lot of questions, be a student for life. Like Success Leaves Clues, these guys have so much wisdom. They've already made it. They already have $100 million in the bank. They're not worried about someone wanting to learn from them. In fact, they're inspired. You got to bring a notebook. You got to take notes. You got to smile a lot, go and humble. Don't tell them how you're going to be the next them and you're going to grow better and all your dreams. Take a lot of notes, meet their team. The oxygen is different there. The next thing is my partnerships. They redid my brand over there, Keep Charge. It's a culmination of great partnerships. Right now, this year, I spent almost $1 million for consulting for myself. Next year, on the docket, so far it should be double. That's just me getting coached. I got one guy paid $300,000. I got another guy just put $150,000. I got a trainer. I've got 365. I'd be those kind of set. I've got the supplements. I've got the doctor. I've got literally like 2 speaking coaches. Like I paid the money to get the best. It's like I could jump 5 years ahead by getting coached. Michael Jordan had 4 other coaches on top of Phil Jackson. So get the right coaches, find the right partners.
Are you a mover looking to make an impact? Discover Moving Letters AI and join the ML Plus Club today. Elevate your customer engagement with the personal touch of handwritten letters.
If you want to take your company to that next level, it's the only way to subscribe. If you're doing anything but Moving Letters AI, you need to get on it. So it's going to take your business to that next level. You're going to see an increase in that revenue. Let's go.
I highly recommend using this company. They're amazing to work with. They even send you an email on how much work they're producing for you.
Don't miss out. Join the revolution and start making moves that matter.
Put a golden damn ticket in there with Moving Letters AI.
What would you say, and I'm going to jump in there, what would you say is one of the first coaches, you probably jumped the track to like different ones of like what's going to work, where you talk about speaking coaches, you talk mental, fitness, everything else. What's one fundamental, because people are like, man, well, I'm not doing that. I don't have that kind of thing. I can't drop that. So what's someone that you would be like, no, if you're going to get a coach, start with this?
Well, read the book, The 7 Power Contractor. My best coach I've ever had at LDD, 71 last week. He wrote a book, 7 Power Contractor, and he explains the org chart, the depth chart, the triangle of communication, which is your CSRs, your dispatchers, and your techs. In every industry, all service, that's what it is.
And then he understands how to really build the manuals, which are, when he found me in 2017, I was the best firefighter. I knew how to literally handle anything in the business. Payroll discrepancies, 1-star reviews. I could hire, I could train, I could go sell. But there was no systems. And Al Levy taught me, he goes, dude, you're the best firefighter I've ever met. Like, we're going to be fire preventers. We're going to create systems, standard operating procedures, and checklists. And all these problems are going to go away. And it was a lot of work. I had to put my head down and do the work. See, people, they buy books, but they don't read them. They get coaches, but they never implement. Like, anybody I've ever worked with, they're like, you're the best student I've ever had. You do the work. You don't just listen, but you absorb. And then you go out there and you execute. So many people are looking for this, they're looking for this genie, this magic in a law. They're like, if I just had the right person to hire. They're so disorganized. They have no plan. They don't have goals. They didn't reverse engineer what needs to happen. They don't know their numbers. And now tell me about all this stuff. And all of a sudden, that MS-17 million wasn't making much money on the bottom line. Revenues for vanity, profits for sanity. But what I learned was profit matters. And don't just say you're reinvesting in the company, get profit. Reputation matters, and systems matter. So now every guy's trained the same way. Every truck's the same. All of our shirts are the same. Every single thing we do is relevant. The bracelet's the same in every market. Everybody's got all these reasons why well, you don't understand my industry, you don't understand my market, you need to race to the bottom of this industry. Someone's winning. Here's what I learned. Everything falls on me. The more excuses I make, the more issues I say. If I always say you don't understand, like, everybody wants to point the finger. The more I work on me, the better the company gets. There's this law of Lin. And the company will only grow as fast as I grow.
And are you in this position that you are now? Does that still hold true today? Like, for you are still heavily involved in a lot of the check marks that have to be taken care of, the essence of the business, where you have people coming to you like, Tommy, this is what's happening in the company.
We're involved in the culture heavily, the communication, how we do things around that. But I would say my job is to maintain the vision, the growth. I'm heavily invested myself in marketing and culture, and I know the numbers like the back of my hand. Like, there's always something that's kind of on the decline, whether that's our booking rate or conversion rate or average ticket or cost per lead might be going up. I use the people I've known for a long time in our size to get on top of the major issues, but I delegate. One of the things Al Levy taught me to get is how to be a master delegator. And I delegate to elevate. I won't outwork anybody. I do work very hard, but I out-delegate. That's how I win. People, they're control freaks, and they don't do it, it's not done right. That's a mistake. No one's going to work as hard as you for your business. If you just get 80%, if I hire 1,000 people to do 80% of what I could do, I mean, I'm massively surpassing everybody.
I feel like in March you had said two things that really caught my attention, which was, every day you focus on like 4 hours of hard work. You could succeed so much more than just going at the office and, I was gone for 8 hours, but you basically did fuck all. You didn't achieve anything.
There's nothing that got done. We were at this comedy show, and the guy goes, those people that say they work, dude, another 70-hour work week. And he's like, he came into my house one night, my buddy, and he's like, well, what'd you get done this week? And he's like, man, putting out fires, meetings, shindig. And he goes, no. You worked 70 hours. What did you advance? What projects did you complete? And people are always like, man, just do the grind. Wow. You work so hard and you waste so much time. And there's 168 hours in a week. 168 hours. You spend 50 working, you spend 50 sleeping. You still got 70 hours to burn somewhere. You can spend 10 working out. You can take your wife on 2 dates a week. You can read your favorite book, watch your favorite show, go to church, go to all your kids' games, and you still got 20 hours left. I think the biggest problem I see is time management's out the window. People are firefighting, trying to fix old problems. They're not working on processes. They're working in the business versus out of the business. They can't get out of their own way.
I got 2 final questions for you.
You bet. Yeah.
First, as a firefighter, putting out fire, share, if you can, a wild story as you're growing your business where you're like ready to pull your hair out, like, man, this is fun. one of the wild scenarios, situations?
There's been a lot of them. Probably one of the hardest days of my life. I had a buddy come visit that just sold his business for $150 million. And the guy's a financial guru. His name's Keegan, really smart. And he goes, show me all your finances. And I was in a lot of markets. And he starts highlighting some leaks and circling. And he goes, I need you to close these 4 markets today. He goes, get rid of all your staff out from a relocation package. He goes, I don't even want to know your excuse for what's going on. He goes, close these 4 markets today. And it was Atlanta, it was Tampa, it was Houston and Dallas. And I'm like, dude, I can't do that. He goes, Tommy, look at me. Close these now. You are effing bleeding so bad. You better do something right now. And it could have been, I mean, other than Jesus Christ and this guy at that very moment, I would have never done that. But he's like, you will be making 20% at the bottom if you close these 4 markets. And he shows me, he just did some quick napkin math calculations. So I offered all my guys a relocation package, really bad management, they needed to go. And about 5 guys moved, and we closed those markets. But it was like that right away. All of a sudden, the money started to roll. That was a hard day. It was a hard day for me because it felt like I was giving up. It felt like I was like, but I wasn't ready. There's no way to order major markets at once.
Right.
So I had to take some medicine. I was like, he gave me it, and I just swallowed it, and I was like, all right. Now we're back in Houston. We'll be back in Tampa. We're planning it in Dallas. We'll be back in Atlanta. So I got very, very, very. I was so focused on growth versus profit, and you could go out of business very quickly.
Mover Marketing AI is changing the game for moving companies with their innovative digital marketing solutions. I've been working with them on my SEO and website, and the results are incredible. My online presence has improved, making my site both visually appealing and highly visible to potential customers. But that's not all they do. Mover Marketing AI offers a full range of services, from engaging social media management to robust branding, advertising, and public relations. They help you build a strong, trustworthy brand. If you're ready to elevate your moving business, I highly recommend Mover Marketing AI. They've been a game changer for me, and they can be for you too. Thanks to Mover Marketing AI for sponsoring this episode and for their support.
Now, final question. I've asked this before to you guys at the podcast, but I want to flip it a little bit because you're not yet. But, you know, what was one of the first big purchases that you got for yourself? And that's the B question is that moving forward and looking in the future, what was something that you still think that's on your bucket list that you really would like to have?
Well, the first thing I did was, there was 25 millionaires that came out of our first deal, but anywhere from $10,000 to $50,000, I gave 100 people different amounts. People that used to work for me before we did the deal, my mom and dad, my sister, I never liked to give people a lot of money because I always heard that saying, like, teach a man to fish versus give a man to fish. So I want to see everybody around me winning, but have a little bit of pride of ownership to where we go on a trip and they got their own money. They turn get another $500. But I'll tell you, I bought this house that I'm in, and it's a pretty cool story because I lived in an apartment for 4 years. I own the apartment complex, but it was 1,000 square feet. And I had settled on that house.
It's like, I lived in an apartment, but I did own the complex.
Yeah, but I drove a really old Nissan Titan for a long time till all my guys had new trucks. But I bought this house. The house that we're building now, this has come to transpire over the last few weeks, but it's really big. The house we're in now is 60,000 square feet. The next one will be a few times this. But the point is, what I realized is this place, it's not about how big the house is and the money. What it is this is a place I'm buying experiences. I'm basically buying happiness. My mom had her 70th birthday. Bree's niece, 3 years old, had her 3rd birthday. My dad had his 70th birthday. Well, my family was in a town, he's got 12 siblings, they stayed with us. Where else can you do that? I mean, we're putting a lazy river because I want my employees, which I consider coworkers, all come over. I don't care.
Yeah.
A lot of people do care. There needs to be a separation. I get that for some people. But, you know, I bought my 85 DeLorean. And that's done up like Back to the Future. I bought some stuff. My dad's favorite car is a 67 Chevelle, so I bought that. But really, I invested a lot of the money. And I'll tell you this. Right when you make it to the top of the mountain, you look up, and there's another mountain. And you're like, yeah, I'm at the top of this peak, but now I want to go to that peak. So I've learned to enjoy the hike a lot more. And most people want the views, but they don't want to take the hike.
Right.
But my plan is to make a lot of people millionaires, like hundreds of thousands of millionaires, but just in my internal circle, hundreds and hundreds more millionaires. More importantly, teach them what I've learned about the meaning of life, which is enjoy it. There's no such thing as balance. I think that's a shitty misconception. It's work-life balance, all this balance. I think you're off balance on purpose. Dan Thurman wrote a book about that. But there's seasons of life, and you know, the best compliment I can receive is when somebody calls me up and says, I'm spending more time with my kids, going to church. I'm starting to get serious with my personal body. I promise you this, everybody listening, if you work on yourself, then you start eating right and sleeping, everybody around you sees you when they start doing the same thing. I'm working next year with this guy, his name's Cameron Harrell. He wrote the book Double Double. It says some people around you, your C-suite, they only have the potential to double it twice. So if you're at 2 million, they can get you to 4, then 8. And then they can't grow you anymore. They're stuck. Unless they're working on themselves 20 hours. That means they're reading, they're podcasting, they're going to events, they're networking, they're getting coaching. So I've invested a lot of money in coaches for my team. But, dude, I love doing this stuff. My main goal, never to... Dude, I'm the same guy, dressed in the same stuff. When the money came, it made me a little bit more get into philanthropy. I wanted to really help out my family. The one thing when I was a kid was I wanted to get money out of the way because it tore up my mom and dad.
Right.
The bills, I heard them screaming at each other. And I'm getting involved with Warrior. We're involved, and this is a long answer, but we're getting involved with a lot of charity. And I want to see everybody that I work with like have their best life and be a great father and a great mother and get back in church if they're religious and really like treat their wife right and realize like work's not everything. I've been to some of third world countries and they smile and they're having the time of their life. Happiness is not evolved around money. And a lot of people, they praise money too much. They get these possessions, they finally get a cool car. And it's cool for the first week. Sure. And it's just, it goes away.
Yeah.
And then most people are not ready for the money. It changes. All of a sudden, family members are calling you up. You haven't heard of people. You're wondering if people are hanging out with you for money. This didn't happen to me. I'm like, listen, if a girl's hot, I don't blame guys for hitting her. You know what I mean? Like, she takes care of herself. You know, the guy's got a lot of money. I don't blame people for wanting to learn and be involved with it. Like, it's not a big deal. Like, I didn't let it go to my head, but it's like, yeah, sure, I did pretty good. So I can understand why you'd want to learn about this.
Right.
But no, I appreciate being on here, and
thank you so much.
I love this stuff. So thank you.
I really appreciate it. Thank you so much, Tommy. Thank you. Guys, it's Mark from Movified signing out with Tommy Mello. This was such a pleasure. If you have not checked out who he is, he has his own podcast.
Home service expert.
Oh, what is it? Like the number one?
It's number 8 in North America for business. So 220,000 downloads a month. And here's the deal. It's going to get way better because I just hired a few people. We're only having on, like, we created a committee of 5 people, and if it doesn't give a ton of value, and if it doesn't freaking kick ass, it will never make it live. So I'm recording. We're probably going to keep 1 out of the 4 podcasts I record. So that means I'm putting out a lot.
Perfect. It's a lot of work too, right? So,
but I love that. Yeah. I mean, you gotta love what you do.
I love it. It's like allows my creative side, and it's great to be able to meet people. So
it's a great connector. By the way, if anybody wants to come do a shop tour, we don't charge for this. It's my way of giving back. Literally, so many people will open up their doors. TommyMello.com/shop. Sign up. Come to a shop tour. I'll show you how we recruit, how we train, how we meet a lot of our team. It keeps us grounded. It lets me really show off about the team members, and it gives me a chance to say thank you to all my mentors that let me in the fight.
And where's your head office?
It's in Phoenix. It's right near there.
Perfect. I'm going to sign up. You can be there in about 2 months. So
yeah, come on out.
Come by. Awesome.
Yeah,
cool. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Until next time.